Hello again, this is Andrew Mount for GG, kindly sponsored by Bet.UK with my thoughts for Aintree's card on Friday. That's April the 14th. Had to think about that then. All the days seem to merge into one. Now, let's talk about a fantastic card at Aintree on Friday, starting with Jerry Colombe's race at 1:45. Now, I was against Jerry Colombe at Aintree, thinking that he'd never jumped a hurdle or fence on a left-handed track before, and that might find him out. It did, but only just. He was a short head behind the real whacker. Now, he's trading around about 11 to 10 on for this race. I think he's going to go close at least. But if you want one against him, I'm just going to go with complete unknown for the Paul Nicholls yard. I wasn't keen on the second favourite, Bron. I thought he might have been flattered when up with the pace in the real whacker Jerry Colombe race at Cheltenham. Whereas complete unknown arrives here a bit fresher than most. He's got a good record in the spring. He's had 4 runs in the months of March and April, and those have produced 3 wins and a second. Moving on to race 2, this is the very tricky 2.5 mile handicap hurdle, but it's been a good race for hold-up horses over the years. And it could be a case of plenty of runners, a lot of front runners. They go a bit too quick and set it up for a closer. I had 4 on my radar. No Ordinary Joe for the Henderson yard. Darganini for Harry Durham, who's been very progressive. Pull Again Green, another one who's got a good record in March and April, winning 3 of his 4 such starts at this time of year, with excuses for the 5th place on his first run back from wind surgery. And number 22, Off Your Rocco for Gordon Elliott. So if you just want to boil that down to 1, maybe go No Ordinary Joe, who looks the most solid. Moving on to the 2:55, this is tricky. And again, it looks like there's lots of pace here, and that could find out Founder 50, the likely market leader, who's one of several front runners. This has been a good race for horses who ran at Cheltenham in their prep race, whether that was at the January meeting the previous November or most likely at the festival. And in the last 10 years, had you simply bet every horse who ran at Cheltenham last time out, you'd have found 8 winners from 38 bets and made a profit of almost a tenner to a £1 level stake. Now, interestingly, of those 38 last time out Cheltenham horses, 8 were trained by Nicky Henderson and no less than 5 won. That's an incredible strike rate. And Luccia, who was a little bit disappointing when only 4th in Mayor's Company at the Cheltenham Festival, might be able to bounce back here. So I'll take her over In the Pocket, who was 4th in the Supreme Novices Hurdle last time. Moving on to the 3:30, only 7 runners here, but this looks incredibly tricky. I was against Pick Dory. 6 of his 7 best Racing Post ratings have come on right-handed tracks, and he was pulled up at this meeting last year, so I'm not convinced that the return to Aintree is going to be ideal for him, and he's the 9-4 favourite. So obviously you're drawn to Fakir Duderis, who's won this for the last 2 years. Was 23 lengths behind Shishkin at Ascot last time out, though, which is a shade disappointing, and he's got headgear on for the first time. He might go and complete the hat-trick in this race, but not for me at the price. So I was looking elsewhere. Hitman's going to run his usual solid race. He tends to like finishing 2nd or 3rd. He's certainly one to have on your side in sort of forecasts, trifectas, and on the play spot. But I'm going to fire arrows at 2 at bigger prices. Fugitif, who was placed in the stable plate at the Cheltenham Festival, doing best of those to come from off the pace. That's a race where it's traditionally best to be on the front end. And our old friend Miller's Bank, who I napped at this meeting last year, and he duly won. He's been disappointing for much of the season, but this is his 2nd run back from a wind operation, and he's had 2 wind operations previously, both times winning 2nd time after the surgery. So let's go Miller's Bank over Fugitif. Moving on to the 4:05, this is the Topham, or over the national fences, of course. Peter Bowen's got a cracking record at Aintree in bumpers and chases over 2 miles to 2 miles 6 furlongs. This century, he's winning at the rate of 7 from 33 for a profit of £90 to a £1 level stake. He won this race last year, of course, with Mac Totti. He also had the 4th in that at 28 to 1, Frankie de Burle. And so we've got to be interested in his sole representative, Equus Dancer. And I also like the other dancer, Al Dancer, who won the Grand Sefton over these fences when we last saw him. And he's obviously being kept fresh for this and should go well again. Moving on to the 4:40. This is Albert Bartlett winner, Stay Away Fay, bidding to do the Cheltenham Aintree double. His chance is obvious, as is that of Absolute Notions. But the one I'm going to side with is Grey Dawning for the Harry Skelton, for the A combination of trainer Dan Skelton and jockey Harry Skelton. Now, Grey Dawning's won 5 of his 6 starts. The only defeat came here at Aintree. That was on his hurdles and seasonal debut when he needed the experience and made 1 or 2 errors. And he impressed me when winning at Kempton on his penultimate start because he came from further back than ideal. And then last time out, he was a Grade 2 winner at Warwick. He arrives here fresher than most. I think Grey Dawning around about 10 to 1 is going to take the beating. So that's my thoughts on Aintree on Friday. If you want to nap out of that lot, I reckon Grey Dawning. So thanks again to our sponsors, Bet UK.